Hey guys, so I'm here at 2023 Caribbean Lit Festival. So I got here kind of late because I missed the first section, but nevertheless, we're here.
Well, Anita, what? Good afternoon. Hi. Good evening. Okay, so imagine it's a Sunday evening in some island that you've come from, and you are going to check on a auntie, your aunt, or uncle, somebody who you're courting, and this is your opportunity to sit down on the porch or the gallery or the veranda and talk about things that you're concerned and interested in. I Belong to the House of Music comes out of, many conversations like this that I had throughout my life. And I grew up, as an eavesdropper, always around big people who were having big conversations. And, so this conversation series is really about, me trying to put myself in the conversation now as a slightly big person. And so the thing about it is that it also includes music, because music is a really important part of our lives as Caribbean people. And not just music, but songs. And so I want to jump into the conversation by asking, and I'm sorry, I do like to read the Bibles. I feel like the Bible does come out when you're talking, right? So I have, okay, so Lauren come from, Lauren come from Trinidad. She grandmother and thing from Trinidad. And Roberto, I read in your thing and I can't see where does you really come from? It's a poet and storyteller and essays. And you're from some Harlem Renaissance, but it come out. I am confused.
Hey guys, welcome to Comfy Cozy Up. So I'm gonna give you the rundown of Brooklyn Caribbean Literary Festival. This is my second time going. I went last year, loved it, so I knew I wanted to go back. However, it was longer this year, but I was only able to go to one day. So to give you a rundown, it was at they had two locations this year, but I only went to the one, which is at Center of Fiction in Brooklyn. And I absolutely love the first panel. And the first panel, let me get my notes because I can remember the name of the panel, was I Belong to the House of Music. And they had, of course, the author Lauren Francis Sharma and Roberta Garcia. Now, of course, the proctor, I forgot her name, but she was the host last year. She just knows how to ask questions. It was just so entertaining. It was a little over an hour of discussion, and it surrounds music and how the music inspired writers from the Caribbean. And they had a lot in common because they talked about the sea and how the sea, symbolizes memory, which is so important when you think of the sea for Caribbean people and that kind of energy that they get from when they write books. I thought that was amazing. They also talked about, they had a different kind of music in between the questions that were asked about their writing style and the inspiration for their books, and how symbolic it is. And what I liked about it, because these are two authors who grew up in the U.S. So there's that both culture that they connect to growing up here, but also how they were still attached to their culture from when you think of Lauren talking about her, talking about her grandmother. It was just so emotional how she was talking about her grandmother that I was just absolutely Just loved her, how she talks about her grandmother. And I also thought that Roberta was very much this poet that was from the families from the Dominican Republic, who, raised in New York. And his how he feels. He has a strong opinion about the changes, even the changes in our music, and who is giving us the roots of our music, kind of deal. And I thought that was an interesting conversation. Now I do know they have a YouTube channel, so a lot of this is on there. So if you miss anything and you want to watch, definitely check out their YouTube channel, and you can see all the panel that was there. They had a lot. But I was fortunate because I went on the perfect day because a lot of the authors were there. And so one particular one I will talk about later that I missed. Now, I had to get this book signed. I was disappointed that I forgot to bring Till the Well Dry, which was the first book she wrote. This was her second. You guys remember when I talked about this when it came out a few years ago. This was a 5-star read. This is heavy on historical fiction. It was absolutely well done. And she made me feel extra special when she knew who I was. I was like, I still sometimes forget how long I've been doing this. How long I've had this channel and how much I have, how many books over the years. We're talking over 500 books I've reviewed on this channel that, an author might have crossed my path on my channel somehow. And so, but when it happens, it's just special. She does follow me on Instagram, which I totally did not realize. And maybe I should pay attention more. But she was so sweet. Oh, she's so sweet. And she makes me I felt so warm. Just even the panel before I even got introduced myself to her, the panel, you just felt like she was that kind of author. One of the things I would say about Brooklyn Caribbean Literary Festival, the authors support each other, because even if they don't have a panel, even they're there. There were so many authors in the room that some of them I did not recognize right away, because it just didn't click, and I will tell you in a minute. But there was quite a few authors that I've read their books, and I'm like, I didn't have the books on me because I would have just loved to get them signed, but there were so many of them there that I just didn't know that they were authors, because I didn't recognize them. I know. So then I saw this author, which I did not get to go to her panel because by the time I got to Brooklyn, I didn't have the time. Parking was just terrible, so I didn't make the 12 o'clock panel. So I was sad about it, but then she showed up at the thing. Yes, so we had Macy Carr. These goats are family. How I felt about this book. The Dry Up Man, yes. So I was so happy, and I was able to get the book signed. I still didn't even read what she wrote completely. But she did also saw that review that I did. I think I was one of the first on YouTube that did a review on this, and I remember it got a lot of attention. And it got shared a lot, but I was so happy. And then she guided me to some other authors whose book I happened to have on me, which I was happy about. We got this one, Sherry Jones. She was also there. She is absolutely a sweetheart. I was just like, oh, she was just like that calm, relaxed kind of author that you just know she's just gonna write a certain. They have different energy. I noticed that with the author, just being around them and having listening to them talk to each other and stuff. I thought that was cool. So she also signed the book, and I was like, yeah, I was happy about it. Then, now when we did Caribbean, there was a particular book I wanted, and I couldn't get it here. Like, it was not in print, and I tried multiple avenues to get it, and it wasn't. Come to find out from the lovely author that she's published in UK, and a lot of her books are not published yet. So she had books there. Yes. And there's What a Mother's Love Don't Teach You. Sorry. What a Mother's Love Don't Teach You. Shalma Taylor. Oh, she is a Jamaican author, and she's just bubbly with energy. she's very old school, and it was just a nice way to network with her, and just talk about how I would love to see her book here, because it's like I'm hearing so many good things from my UK fans, who, because this was recommended from a UK subscriber that said, hey, you should pick this up. So I was glad she had it. It's a chunky one. It's a chunky one. But the chapters are short. Oh, the chapters are short. I love a chunky book with short chapters. But so I was so happy, and of course, you had to get her to sign. And she said my full name. Anytime I'm around Jamaican and I say Peter, they're like, PDA. They said my full name. So I was like, she is just amazing. And I was just like, so these are the authors that I was able to get. Yeah. Then, of course, I left my book, because this author was also here, because this is her short story collection, I Am Not Ready Yet. I didn't bring the book. And she was introduced to me, I believe, by Sherry Jones. Was like, oh, do you know this? And I said, I have your book. Well, of course, the book was at home. And I was just like, no. But I didn't even take a picture with her. I still should have took a picture with her, but I didn't. But, so yeah. Yeah. Then, he was also in the room. Yes. This Kevin Jared Hossein, he was in the room, and I missed him. Like, by the time I chit-chatted with a couple of authors, he was gone. So I was a little bit upset, because I was like, no. So this was a missed opportunity. I'm sure I would see him again at some other function. And then the author that really I was just bummed about, because he had to go back to the UK, because he was only here for 2 days. And yeah, he's popular right now because he's on the Booker, so I'm sure he's doing a lot of tours, and that, of course, I missed him. I'm stalking him still, because I just feel like I just want to meet this man and get my book signed. But then I want to meet him just to chit chat a little, because this is just a great opportunity to be your first Booker, you on the Booker prize. So I missed him. And those are the books I can remember. There are a couple of other books on my shelf of authors that were there that I had no idea at first. Yeah, like who they were. But that's another thing I should, get used to as far as Caribbean events, because this is my second time at this festival, but I've also done Brooklyn Book Festival when they used to have 5 days, where they used to have different things. I used to do those. If you look at my previous Brooklyn Book Festival, I used to do a lot over like a 4 or 5 day situation. And I remember going to one of the Caribbean events where Oliver Cena was there, and let me tell you, the amount of Caribbean author in that room, I remember just feeling like, wow, because I would say as far as Caribbean authors, they do support each other, and they do come out to function, even if they're not on a panel or they're even doing anything. They'll just come out and support each other, and and it's a great way to network. Now, when it was done, we went to this Haitian restaurant that was like just another a street across the street over. That's pretty much where it was, and I did not know this Haitian restaurant was there. Like, by the time I passed that area, had no clue. I was even telling my mother. She was like, what? Yeah. So I was there, and it was packed outside. There was no more seats. So I ate at the bar, and the food was delicious. I was like, okay, I could come back here. I didn't even get like a really full on. I got like some wings. I got a nice salad. That kale salad was so good. And then I got some green plantain that was, and it was just so good. It came with this spicy cabbage thing. Like, it's like a slaw, but it's a Haitian slaw, because my friend makes it all the time. And it's had that with the green plantain, fried green plantain. It was delicious. So that was fun, and even that atmosphere, like the manager that was there, and I'm not sure if it was the manager, the owner. I think he might be the manager. He was there, and the bartenders, and they were all, the waitress, they were all friendly and nice. So that was a nice way. And of course, they had music playing in the back where all the other authors and guests were just in the back listening to some music. And I thought that was a nice way to end the day. And so I didn't feel bad not being able to go the second day. The second day it was raining as crazy, and then they, you know, so they had to move the venue to NYU. And it was just, it was so much going on that day, and I was behind on my projects and stuff I'm working on, so I didn't go. But I know, keep my fingers crossed that next year will be different. And because they're getting better and they're adding a lot more authors than they did last year. I think last year they definitely didn't have that much author compared to this year. They had a lot more panel this year, and they had a lot more known and bigger authors this year. So they're definitely growing. The t-shirt was interesting. But I was there for the authors. That's what I was there for, and I was just so happy about that. So anyway, we're gonna end this video here. I know it's a little chatty, but I just forgot how to vlog, guys. I have not vlogged out in public probably all year, if I think about it. Like a real proper vlog out in public, I haven't done. So I was a little rusty, but I'm gonna try and do better because I have Brooklyn Festival. Hey guys, so I did not get to properly end this video, but yeah, next festival is going to be October 1st. I'll be at Brooklyn Book Festival, so I'll talk more about that leading up to it. But that's what I wanted to say before I was rudely interrupted by my memory card saying no more space. Anyway, all right guys, see you in the next video. Bye.